There is a lot of space for changing perspective, looking from one way to the other. Like now we are looking, the project is called Eyes Come Back, and it's based on an anecdote about the Native American version, the coyote, where he meets a man who is able to throw his eyes up in the air and they get stuck in a cottonwood tree. So he gets a completely different perspective. And he learns to do this trick, but the man tells him, please don't do it 4 times a day only. Otherwise, And the trickster, at some point he does it, and it's amazing to have all this overview all of a sudden. And he goes like, okay, but these rules count for his country, but I'm in this other place, and the rules probably don't apply to me. So he tries it a 5th time, and the eyes get stuck up there. So all of a sudden he loses his eyesight, and with his eyes from up, he cannot go hunting. So he ends up hungry on the floor. And then the story moves on with a mouse that comes by, and he borrows an eye of a mouse to be able to see something. And then the bull comes by, and he borrows another eye from a bull. Is it amazing to have those 3 perspectives now, or is it, how does it help in understanding what's happening and how you find what you need in order to be alive, to stay alive? So I think this is the core, basically, of this project. It's connected to the characteristics of the trickster figure, but it's also connected to this story of how changing the perspective can transform into something useful or something very complicated also. It's not about looking away. It's also not about fiction as in it's something randomly different, because even if your eyes are hanging up in the tree, it's still your eyes, and the information is processed through your experience that you've had. So I think it's really, all of this is actually very much related to each other. But if you have a workshop situation like this, I think it's also about using these stories as a starting point. But we are 10 participants up there, and there's other people who bring in other impulses, and there's a lot of conversation and a lot of thought going on. And it's exactly about this it's also an artificial space in which we are acting right now, right? We have the construction site of Combo where we are staying and working. We have the place where we are living, and none of this is our own, it's 2 very different, more or less commercial contexts that we are working in. And both of them are artificial for us also, because it's not the place that we usually act in. So for us, already this is a stage. So already we are in a stage, and we are in a fictive situation. And already we are trying to create a new narrative that we can keep working on. We will go for a walk around the market first, and then afterwards, when the market is done, go for a walk in the area. And I think the market is a set situation. You can consider it maybe as a stage if you want, as a stage situation also. But then when it's done, I think it takes a few hours for the cleaners to, for whatever happens to wrap it up, and it's a completely different act that happens there. And we will be working with this. There is one of my collaborators, Franziska Pirvos, who is an artist from Germany. She will do a guided tour today, for example, and there will be a connection to Porta Palazzo, the area that we are in. But also here, it's just like a very slow, dipping in your toe in the context that you are thrown in. And then we know that we are aware and very careful with the way we process it in a 5-day workshop, right? So it will be just another information layer that adds up to this long process of how do we connect to the things that happen around us.